We broke out of these four walls and we hit the road on the run. 6 months down, no regrets, till we were kicked back across the pond. Lost back down, we did our time till it was time for another break. We broke the wire and got outside the stairway shore, but I can't complain. 4 wheels turning in 1 week in it, our journey had just begun. Dressed to the nines, living our lives, but moving on the run. We met the man and shook his hand in another time and place. Now I stood in the spot where Dylan just died. The band was dead, but our spirits remain. And I yell, hey, we're breaking out of here now, hey, we're breaking out of here now. Well, I'm sick and I'm tired of holding on. I'm sick of you dragging me down. Well, I'm sick and I'm tired of holding on. My life's too short, you've been here too long.
Yeah, because it'd be like when we were 16, 17 years old that we started, like that we knew what we wanted to do, which is exactly what we're doing now. And it's just a progression since then. Like, we've never had a different idea of what we wanted to do. Like, the very first music that really grabbed us was the records that our parents had. We like listened to our mom's old Buddy Holly 78 and stuff, and because what was going on at the time, like, we weren't too interested in it. Never really, like, you know, we liked it as, you know, as much as like anybody casually would like it.
We grew up Sunday mornings with our dad putting a big platter of records on the stereo of, you know, Johnny Cash and all that stuff, and we'd, you know, Sunday morning get up and that's all we heard.
Wake up to. I smell of frying bacon and like Johnny Cash. So yeah, that was always just the kind of music that we were interested in, we wanted to do. I mean, what we're making with music now, I mean, we probably support ourselves on it, but you then couldn't go on some tour and stuff like we do. Everything we make for music, we put back into it.
And investing in our own company, if you want to call it that, and using the money for this type of thing.
We just keep plugging away at it, and hopefully eventually we won't have to have a day job to support it.
What is the day job?
We work at a pizza restaurant. I cook them and he serves them.
One on the left, one on the right. You wanna be the one tonight. I know what you got in your mind. I know that you're the wild kind. You got luck, take a stack. There's no strings attached. I know what you got in your mind. I know that you're the wild kind.
Well, the rockabilly style was really it was a juvenile delinquent style. It was one of the first styles of music that really came along that teenagers could directly relate to.
Well, it finally gave them something that, you know, beforehand it had been, you know, all these old guys playing these instruments and playing music, and finally came along these young kids playing their instruments.
A lot of these artists were like 17 years old.
Yeah, they were no more than juvenile delinquents themselves, so the audience really had something they could relate to now.
And that's what really appealed to us about Brian Setzer and the Stray Cats when they came along in the early 80s.
Yeah, here's these guys on the front cover of their album, you know, with their leather jackets with the collars turned up and their hair all greased up, and
they came along at the right time, and they, you know, by all accounts are probably the most commercially successful rockabilly band ever. Why are you crying? Don't cry. You want to sing something?
Well, yeah. Yeah, I'm always working on new songs. I'm always writing. So you take bits and pieces of your reality and mix them up with other things that you've seen and heard. And to me, that's what adds
that element of realism to them. You sort of put your experience into some other situation, and that's to me what makes it work, and that's what makes it effective. You don't have to, like I say, I don't have to be this real, lech of a person to write a song about it,
I see your eyes watching mine haunting me, girl. The hypnotizing, beware the spell or you're under. Sparks are flying, and the worst comes out of me. The moon is full now, and I've a thirst for desire. Well, hear me calling, come with me, feed my hunger. Sparks are flying, and the worst comes out of me. We'll just break these chains and set this lone wolf free. Sparks are flying.
This is in good condition, it would be kind of neat. It's not much left of that. You could buy a piece of furniture at a place like this, and even if they want like a ridiculous amount of money for it, like they want a couple $100 for a cabinet, you actually buy it and it's never going to be worth less than that, because it's a piece of furniture that was built at a time when they actually used good wood and they built it properly.
We don't just collect. I mean, we don't collect like, collector plates and stuff.
Yeah, it's not.
Like, it's all old stuff. And it's kind of specific to a time period. It's like sort of late 40s into the 50s, most of the 50s. It just, at that time, there was so many things that had a style to them and had a quality to them that doesn't exist anymore.
Eddie Cochran's something else. That's one of those ones that you pull it out of the stack and your heart sort of skips. You're like, oh man, that's a good one to find. I'm a little jealous though because Sean found it, so it's his to take home.
I gotta guess the fattest one around. I don't care when they put her down.
Stay tuned, it's Rumble at the Opry with the Farrell Brothers, next.
They all want me, and she's the only girl for me. I gotta guess the fattest one around.
That was one of the most professionally scripted and delivered radio programs in Winnipeg, not just at CKUW. It's just such a well-researched show. Gordy and Sean would deliver it rapid fire at the microphones, one at a time, blasting, trading off seamlessly. It was actually amazing to behold. I'll take it a step further. They lived the show. They were meant for that show. Like, as far as I'm concerned, the Farrell Brothers can do practically anything. They're like walking cartoon characters with encyclopedic knowledge.
One of the first and most important of the veterans to affect the British during the Rockabilly revival of the mid-70s was Ray Campy.
The success that eluded Ray in the 50s finally found him in 1971 when, several years into a career as a Los Angeles high school teacher, he heard his old records were fetching $50 in the UK, so he went back into the studio. He recorded prolifically in the next years for Rollin' Rock, revealing his credentials and showing the relaxed beat, fluid delivery, and sense of humor that mark all his work.
In this evening's ringside spotlight, it is Ray Campy.
Well, I'm a rockabilly man, and I'm proud to say I am.
Jack Scott is here. He's decided to stop in. We're going to talk to him a little bit, and we've got some guitarists here. You may persuade him to do a song or something. How you doing, Jack?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Welcome to Rumble at the Opry at the Farrell Brothers.
Thank you. It's good to be here. This is great. Love the guitars. Love the bass.
Thank you very much. Because you're from Canada, we're always we're so proud that you're Canadian. There's so few of the great 50s rockabilly artists that we consider rockabilly. Do you consider yourself rockabilly?
The first time I heard the term rockabilly is when I was in England. We were doing a show, and I was on a radio show with Charlie Feathers and Warren Smith at the time. And
this was in '77.
Yeah, when we played. In fact, I think I did the Rainbow Theater over there at that time, and they were talking about rockabilly, and I think put the term together because of rock and roll, Elvis's type of rock and roll, and then you put hillbilly music. Used to call hillbilly music. They come up with the term rockabilly.
I think a lot of real rockabilly it sounds a lot more hillbilly-ish. And that's what a lot of people consider more rockabilly. But I always hear more of even a doo-wop sort of influence and stuff in some of the music. Your early influences were Hank Williams and
Aaron Young.
Yeah. I hear some Carl Smith kind of in there too, a little bit, it seems.
Oh yeah, the old Carl Smith stuff. Yeah.
So you've definitely come from sort of that country influence. So.
Sure, that's all I did when I started out doing music. I was 9 years old.
Rockabilly, that wasn't really a term that was used in the 50s, was it?
No, I never heard that term at all. It was just rock and roll.
Yeah.
It was rock and roll or hillbilly music. I played a place in 1957. It was called Bill's Barn. It was just way out. It was just a big old barn, and he put a hardwood floor in there, and it was an old coal furnace in the back that he would burn coal and wood in there, and no insulated windows. We'd stick newspapers in between the wood to keep the snow from coming in, and we'd start dancing, and we'd play Red Foley or Eddie Arnold or Carl Smith songs, and go right into some of the Elvis Presley songs. So there was nobody said, anything, well, geez, are you going to play rock, you're going to play country? It was all in one.
Yeah.
So maybe that's how this rockabilly business came along, And there's nothing wrong with that, I love both sides. I love the old hillbilly music.
It's all rock and roll.
It's all rock and roll.
Baby, baby, my little baby, 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 my little baby. Missing you is all I do. You don't know what I go through. I know you won't change your mind. Poor little Johnny's left behind. Baby, baby, my little baby, 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 I love you, baby. This could be a paradise. I stop gambling, shooting eyes. If you there and perfect, gosh, your baby, gosh, your G. Baby, baby, my little baby. Baby, baby, I love you, baby.
Well, that was pretty amazing. I mean, Jack Scott was one of those guys that we had grew up with when we had originally pulled these records out of the basement.
Original 78s that we pulled out of the basement. There was those Carlton Jack Scott 78s of Goodbye Baby, Leroy. So those it was really cool to have him on because he was one of the first guys that we were really exposed to for that type of music. And
one of the first guys that we listened to that we thought like this is like cool stuff. Like why isn't somebody doing this? Like
to me, it was one of the first artists of that time where I hear in his recordings the standout bass is really just it stands out.
Well, that stand-up bass just has this definite delinquent quality to it.
It's a nasty. It can be really nasty. Yeah, like
it's not like an electric bass.
Instrument.
Electric bass was like, there's something nice about it, but there's nothing nice about a stand-up bass. They're nasty.
Sounds better if I start it at the start. Can't go up to the E. That's too high.
I think that's
like
what it
to
is.
me, it sounds like what you've been doing. If you're thinking it's a lot higher than it has to be.
I'm going too high.
Yeah.
I pray there's a rumble that day. I pray there's a rumble that day. I pray I got a pearl and a pistol and a pretty miss that'll have knocking down the door. When the cops arrive, there's a rock and roll ride and there's blood on the dance off floor. I pray there's a rumble that day. I pray 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 rumble that day. I pray.
What do you think? Let's just do that last part right now.
I pray there's a rumble that day. I pray there's a rumble that day. I pray. There's a rumble at the Opry, don't you hear the screams and shouts? There's a rumble at the Opry, don't you hear the trains and die? I got a homemade shit with some extra strings and all the pretty girls that want me. We're gonna crack your brand before we hit town, it's time to kill a bit of beat. There's a rumble at day, I pray 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 rumble at the Opry, rumble at day, I pray rumble at the Opry, rumble at day, I pray rumble at the Opry, rumble at the Opry, rumble at the Opry.
It breaks a little bit, but not
I didn't
that
hear anything.
noticeably.
Where after the solo?
How does that?
It's actually a pretty good take.
I thought it was good.
I
Might
don't.
be a couple little
Is it-
pitch just on the edge of being.
Yeah.
I think it's character. I don't know, I didn't hear anything I thought it sounded bad. I thought it sounded good.
There's a rumble that day. I pray 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 there's a rumble at the Opry. Don't you hear the screams and shouts? There's a rumble at the Opry. We'll tear it to the ground. Got a homemade chip and some extra strings and all the pretty girls that want me. Gonna crack you round before we hit the town. It's time to give it a beat. There's a rumble that day. I pray 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 I got a pearl hound with the pretty miss that'll have knocking down the door. When the cops arrive, there's a rock and roll right on the dance hall floor. There's a rumble that day. I pray there's a rumble that day. I pray there's a rumble that day. I pray there's a rumble that day. I pray. There's a rumble at the Opry, don't you hear the screams and shouts? There's a rumble at the Opry, we'll tear it to the ground. Got a homemade ship and some extra strings and all the pretty girls that want me. Gonna crack you round before we hit the town, it's time to give it a beat. There's a rumble at day, I pray 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 rumble at the Opry, rumble at day, I pray rumble at the Opry, rumble at day, I pray rumble at the Opry, rumble at day, I pray rumble at day, I pray. Thank you.
This is the first acoustic guitar that I bought, like travel all over with, like when we were playing on the street. Because originally in Winnipeg, we would just busk on the streets. Like, we did that for years before we ever played in a club in Winnipeg. Like, we played in clubs in Toronto and, like, the El Macombo, place like that, before we'd ever even played a club in Winnipeg. And that was just because there was, you know, at the time, there was stuff going on there that wasn't going on here. So, you know, our gigs in Winnipeg were ones we made on a street corner.
Yeah, it's today's set. What are you? Isn't that amazing? I couldn't believe it. I'm like, holy smokes, that's a huge picture.
Oh, I didn't see that.
See that? No. I mean, for the sun. I mean, for any.
Farrell's tear it up tonight at the Royal Albert. forget about the band that came all the way here from Montreal. Or the one that came from Calgary.
Check 1, 2. Check.
It's nice of you. That's the nuke. This lone wolf free. Just break these chains and set this lone wolf free. One, two, three, four.
We haven't done that one in a while.
This is the thing. I mean, musicians have day jobs. They don't have careers. I mean, and a day job is usually a shit job, like you know, working at a pizza restaurant or some kind of restaurant or digging some kind of ditch or whatever. You know, it's not a career job.
Sort of dock.
A dock or a warehouse or like. I mean, we've done all that stuff. You know, and it's you got to pay the bills. Because, I mean, the thing is, we're working on this plan that if we meet at the Salisbury House enough and make enough important decisions there, we might eventually be able to be sponsored by Salisbury House.
It was a flexible job. You can, you know, you make your own schedule and, you know,
completely make your own hours.
What more can you ask for? I mean, you get to go in and make your own schedule and you...
It's pretty easy going.
Yeah.
This is actual size, so it was just so small, like there was no detail, and I really wanted to see the stitches on the lips and stuff.
That's very nice.
I think somewhere along the line, having tried the pizza routine, that the legendary Pizza Who, the boys just said, you know, screw this, you know. I think they really, really, really hit their mark by becoming tattoo artists.
God damn it, it's nothing. Why do I always get so nervous? I think it's good. You know, I like it.
Well, it's good because it's not coming out.
I like the way it is now. We're all done. All done.
For a long time, we had almost mistakenly avoided jobs that were flexible like that you could have a decent job and still have a job that was flexible, that you could still do the music in. And I don't know, we were young and stupid. There's like everything there, like to the most ridiculous like elements of rockabilly. Like it's just this coming together of everything, and it's just fun, you know.
I tell you another Max Stevens story. This wasn't fake, it was for real. A big greaser like this, 300-pound greaser. He killed him with a knife. The guy falls down on the floor and all his intestines, splatter all over. My glasses got a chunk full of them. And then he resuscitated him with the power of rock and roll. This is the power of rock and roll. Get up, the power of rock and roll will save you. And then this guy, start coming back,
Ronnie Weiser, he's the one that went and searched out, these guys.
Rediscovered.
Yeah, I mean, Gene Vincent, guys like that were, doing this new version of their songs and that, and he's the one that went and found these guys, Ray Campy, brought them back out and made them rediscover what they were doing back in the 50s.
But he had a foresight that not a lot of people had at that time. They were trying to upgrade these people.
Yeah.
And he recognized what was special about them.
What they were great for.
And that's what he would, push. He would get these guys in for a session, and they would have ideas what they wanted to do to sort of, reinvent what they were, and he's like, okay, that's great, but here's this song I wrote. Try this one, stick your finger in my pudding, some crazy thing like that. They're like, what? And they're like, all right. And it was really, in a way, it was starting to lean towards what eventually became psychobilly.
Yeah.
Jump to the rhythm of rockabilly music tonight. I'm rocking to the rhythm of the rockabilly music tonight.
We always make music for the real piece. We never care about charts, hits, fame. We never say this song's going to be a hit. Ronnie Weiser says these are hits of the mind. This song is never going to be a hit. Not in this world we live in, but these are hits of my living room. We have hits of the living room and hits of the mind and hits of the heart. And that's all that's important to us. That's what the rockabilly scene has been doing. They just little termites chewing at the wall. And eventually the wall starts to crumble. But once in a while something big happens, like the internet, which puts a big hole in the wall. Yeah. And a lot of termites can run and get in. We're all termites. We're all just running around chewing at the wall and hoping the whole thing comes down while we're still alive, while we can see it happen. The music industry has never been willing to recognize anything other than what they create. They have to create it.
was a sin. I was a dead-end boy with a switchblade smile and delinquent style. I was a dead-end boy. Your father is a loss, so your mother is the boss, and they always said you wasn't worth a lot. They said you all their rule, why don't you follow their rules, cause you're a chip off the same old block. They said, now was a sin. I was a dead-end boy with a switchblade smile and delinquent style. I was a dead-end boy. Well, they said, now was a sin. I was a dead-end boy with a switchblade smile and delinquent style. I was a dead-end boy. Well, they said, that was a sin. I was a dead-end boy with a switchblade smile and delinquent style. I was a dead-end boy. Well, they said, that was a sin. I was a dead-end boy with a switchblade smile and delinquent style. I was a dead-end boy. Yeah, I was a dead-end boy. Now you are a dead-end boy. 'Cause I am a dead-end boy.
Thank you. Anyway, we're going to take a break. Thank you very much, and we'll be back in a bit. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Like, these guys are not in it as a fad. They're not in it to get chicks, you know? They're family guys. They're in it to rock.
My, what do we see in myself that I don't see anywhere else alive? Had my back to the wall and see better than the fall. When times I feel we run our track.
When's your rat rag gonna be on the road?
That's not right.
What?
It's flat blue.
Looks pretty ratty right now.
It's flat blue. It's suede, man.